The house had been silent for 11 months when Margaret finally remembered she had a daughter. Not forgotten. That would have been a mercy. She had simply stopped being able to hold the fact of Clara anywhere in her body that didn't immediately collapse, like pressing down a bruise that had no bottom. She was washing a mug when it happened. The mug was yellow. Clara had painted it in second grade with uneven letters that spelled M-O-M-M because she'd run out of room. Margaret had been washing it every day for 11 months without once seeing it. And then she saw it, and the mug hit the floor and cracked clean down the middle. She didn't clean it up. She stepped over it. She went upstairs. Clara's room was exactly as it had been. Margaret had made sure of that. She had fired a cleaning woman for opening the door. She had stood outside it every night for 11 months, listening to the silence inside the way you press your ear to a seashell, believing, against all evidence of the world, that you will hear something. She opened the door now. The smell of a child, fading. That particular sweetness, half powder, half something living. It was almost gone. Margaret stood in the doorway and breathed it in as slowly as she could, rationing, knowing that every breath took a little more of it away, that she was, by the very act of wanting it, consuming the last of it. She sat on the small bed. The mattress gave in a way that felt obscene, a body-shaped impression where there was no body. On the nightstand, a glass of water evaporated down to a white ring. A library book, 8 months overdue, a single white sock. Margaret picked up the sock. It was very small. She had been a person who believed in things once. Not God necessarily, but something underneath God, some arrangement of the universe that implied meaning, that the extraordinary love you put into a life would be honored somewhere in the accounting, that it would count for something. All those ordinary Tuesday mornings, all that careful attention, all those years of choosing and choosing and choosing someone over yourself and being glad to do it. She understood now that it counted for nothing, that the universe kept no ledger, that love was not a contract, that a 7-year-old girl could be alive at breakfast, sticky-fingered, complaining about Wednesday, and dead before dinner, and the world would simply would continue in its entirety. Cars would pass outside, neighbors would mow lawns, someone, somewhere would laugh so hard they would cry. This was the fact Margaret lived inside. It had no walls and no ceiling and no exit. It was not a room. It was just where she was now. The sock was still in her hand when the light shifted. It shifted the way it does in winter, the sun already giving up by 4 in the afternoon. The sky going that particular gray that isn't a color so much as an erasure of color. The sky refusing to be sky, preferring instead to be the idea of something pressing down. Margaret watched the light go. She didn't turn on the lamp. She sat in the gathering dark in her daughter's room on her daughter's bed, holding her daughter's sock. And she waited for something that did not come, and would not come, and had never been coming. Outside, the neighbor's dog barked once, then nothing. Inside, somewhere in the dark, something was slowly losing its smell. She stayed until she could no longer tell the difference between grief and air.